what if bi men are the answer? Because up until right now, in my head, I'm bisexual, right? In my head, I was like, I like a certain kind of woman, a certain kind of man, a masculine man, a whatever man. But listen, I don't have straight friends. I literally, all my best friends are like bisexual or gay. So it doesn't almost translate or make sense to me being my full complete self, like in my queerness, in my whatever I amness. Clearly, whatever that is, I like to be around queer people. So then why in a romantic relationship would I not click in that I probably also still like queer people? Does that make any sense? Because when you're thinking about masculine men, straight men, a lot of times you're thinking about emotional unavailability, right? A lot of times you're thinking about, I am often explaining myself to somebody who A, doesn't give a fuck, B, doesn't know how to respond, C, maybe hasn't had like an emotional conversation that might be a disagreement without calling it a fight. These are generalizations, but this is also a compilation of my experience, my friends' experiences, et cetera, to some degree, there is maybe a wall up regarding sensitivity, emotions, emotional availability that I think a lot of straight men have up because of their conditioning, that eventually I hit this wall and I realize that I'm not comfortable here. But it takes me a different amount of time to figure that out with most people. But I went on a date yesterday with a bi man, and I also now know another bi man in a relationship with a woman, and I see their relationship and it looks great. And I mean, not to say that I know everything about relationships that, you know, are behind closed doors, but I think in my head, I didn't, first of all, you don't come across, at least where I live in Toronto, you don't come across a whole lot of bi men. I think maybe when I lived in LA, maybe I came across more, but that being said, it was a few years ago, like whatever, I don't know, maybe it'd be different now, but I don't think I like come across bisexual men that often. So it's not like I've been like actively dismissing is what I'm saying, because I don't think I've come across a whole lot in Toronto. But in my head, like my type for a man is like a certain way. And I'm realizing that that's probably just part of my conditioning also. Not that I don't find those people attractive, like I think that I do, but that in my head, I thought, okay, I'm bisexual, so that means that for me, I like really masculine, tall men who are providers and blah, blah, blah. And then for women, I like a few different kinds of women, but some of them like look like me. Some of them are like a little more feminine, whatever. In my head, those were my types. This isn't my first time dating a man who isn't like masculine or like typical alpha vibes. Like it's not my first time. But I think sometimes with a man who's more comfortable with like his feminine side, you see like a more beautiful blend of energies in a way where like sometimes with straight men, it's like you're just getting the masculinity and sometimes it can be toxic. I love when people can have like fluidity in both, right? And I think at least on this date, I felt that, first of all, the conversation was flowing. I felt like I could 100% be myself. I didn't feel any like emotional blocks to what I should be saying or how I should be acting. And I also feel like you almost have more access to that person when they're tapped into both sides because they don't block you off of like asking certain things. Like I've been with guys and I've asked them like, oh, what's your relationship like with your family? And he's like, this isn't therapy. I don't want to talk about this right now. And I'm like, okay, like, what? I didn't think it was therapy. I was just having a conversation. Because I think sometimes it can be a feminine appearing trait to ask emotionally charged questions casually and not be fazed by it because we live there. We live in that space sometimes and we're more comfortable there. I think sometimes straight men are not comfortable there And then that like falsehood, that little fake little street that we end up in the middle of because we're not going somewhere real, I'm not comfortable in that place. I'm not comfortable in the pretending that it's not weird or like chopped off part of our conversation and experience that you don't want to talk about emotional things and things that I think will help me get to know you. You know what I mean? And like the relationship, like it's like, do you know what I'm saying when I feel like maybe you can access more of their brain and more of their personality, like without bumping heads? Does that make any sense? Like I just felt like there weren't roadblocks, which is often how I feel with queer people in general or like queer friendships. You know how like sometimes if you're around people that you're not as comfortable with in whatever area, you're going to code switch, but also just like omit certain parts of your personality because you don't have the environment for those to come out. And I didn't feel that way this time. And, you know, like that being said, like I've been with straight guys and there have been times where I definitely felt like I could be myself. But then there were times that I felt like I absolutely could not be myself due to something that was in his masculine conditioning. Now, of course, this person I went on a date with yesterday, I don't know them very well. I just met them. There could be things like that. There could be things like that I haven't bumped into yet. And I'm not going to make a declaration, but I am making the observation that maybe bi men are where it's at. Like it, because here's the thing. I feel like part of the reason why so many people woke up to like being bisexual during the pandemic is because they spent time with themselves and were like, well, if I really think about what attraction really is, aside from my conditioning, like, yeah, I am attracted to more than one gender. So it almost hints at some sort of self-discovery, some sort of self-awareness, right? Because even thinking about your sexuality or your pronouns causes you to do some digging. And so if a man has done that, he's probably already quite a few steps ahead of like your average guy, because guess what? Lots of straight men aren't straight, but they'll never know that because they never even had the interest in having the curiosity to look at that. And that's why sometimes it takes like people their whole lives to figure it out due to social conditioning. And like, you know, society, you know, they want the nuclear family so that we can produce more laborers, and it's a pyramid scheme. It's all a pyramid. You know what I'm saying? It's fake. It's fake news. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of reflecting on what emotional, mental barriers I've put in my head for who I'm supposed to be with and how those might be completely wrong. So let me know if you felt this at all. Let me know if you like my Christmas tree. This will probably be, oh my gosh, you guys, I just realized it is Vlogmas. Like it is Vlogmas right now. Okay, well, I'm starting Vlogmas now. I'm really bad with the passing of time and realizing that December means Christmas and Vlogmas, but hello, happy Vlogmas. I don't know if you've noticed, I'm posting a lot more lately, and this is me officially remembering that I'm doing that because I was already starting to post more videos, and then like December, like days and months don't knock on my head door, and I just don't really know where I am. I'm a Pisces. It's very hard for me to stay grounded in the passing of time and know what month we're in. But happy Vlogmas. This is a Vlogmas video. I've just decided. And now I'm going to get my shit together now and make sure every day there's a Vlogmas video because it's December. But I've been posting a lot, so you can't really be that mad at me because I was doing that anyways accidentally. But this is the Vlogmas tree. Say hi. Hi, tree. It's colored Teresa. Giudice. Giudici. 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 Bye. I love you.